Welcome,
Hello,
welcome,
doctor.
Mr. Mahdi. Biglary, Mr. Mahdi, welcome to Pakistan. I introduce Mr. Mahdi. Mr. Mahdi is an engineer, 19 years experience in this field, and he did a lot of jobs in poultry field. He is a mechanical engineer and aeronautical engineer. And yes, please,
Hello,
welcome, sir.
doctor. Hello, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, sir.
This is good study for me, and inshallah, it is improve our knowledge about the ventilation and poultry. Thank you. Thank you for your this try and training, and it is very good for development and increase our knowledge about the poultry ventilation and others. Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Mahdi. You join us. I introduce to my participants and my friends and my veterinary doctors and the new students of the veterinary colleges. They are with us. That Mr. Mahdi is a engineer and he did a lot of jobs. More than I think more 3-4 centuries. He did a 3-4 centuries in the controller houses to build the controller house and did a lot of jobs, did a lot of courses from outside different companies and from the ventilation, from the hatchery ventilation. And last time I see his full experience details. So I forget. And now Mr. Mehdi told us that what he did. And today he is asking me about the LPV curve. So we will discuss on LPV curve. So first, Mr. Mehdi, you will tell us to our participants, our friends, that how long time you are working and what you did in this poultry world. Yes, please. Welcome, sir.
So, Doctor, I saw your presentation. It is very nice for me, and this is my pleasure contact with you. About the LPV, according to our negotiation last night, uh, about the LPV, I have one question about how you manage minimum ventilation with low pressure.
Yes, sir. Before answer your question, first I asked you that you tell us, our participants, our audience, that how long time you are in this field and what you did in poultry world.
It is very little compared to your experiences, doctor. And just I'm your student in this meeting, and I have more than 19 years working on poultry industry, A to Z. For example, in the housing, egg and egg processing, like as egg pasteurizer and egg powder, and egg grading system, packing system. I worked with MOBA, Sanovo, and Salmet, also Hotraco before. Also little experiences with the ESCO in 2 or 3 projects. But our company, PSCO, is working in Iran in several industrial fields. One of them is the poultry, and we had more than 2,500 house equipped in Iran and Iraq and Azerbaijan and Afghanistan and Turkmenistan. This is our experiences, but we had some study and education about the poultry, but I am mechanic engineer, but I had a study about the poultry, but it is not compared to your education. And just about the ventilation, I can say something to my friends.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It's your good will, sir. Thank you. And now you will ask the question. Yes, start, please. What you want, what you know, what you want about the LPV. And first I told you the audience that LPV, low power ventilation or low pressure ventilation. LPV, the abbreviation of the LPV is low power ventilation or low pressure ventilation. It is related to the negative pressure ventilation. So, yes, please, sir, start. What do you want to ask, sir?
During minimum ventilation in sidewall inlets, we don't have, for example, chimney fan and other things. Just big fans in back of the house and air inlet inside. In coldest time.
Yes, sir. Now your voice is okay. You please.
Okay. In coldest time, if decrease the temperature outdoor, how we can manage poultry house and heat it or bird and reach to the comfort zone? Please say me about the LPV benefits.
Right.
And compared to other minimum ventilation management.
Right. So first I told you that the low pressure ventilation management and curve is the mandatory for every poultry houses, because this is the main design of the ventilation. The engineer made it for your future. So how we conduct this? So this is very important. Before arrival of the chicken, we perform a smoke test. But before smoke test, your house temperature should be 32 degree minimum, 32 or 33 degrees centigrade. Your heater should be started and your house temperature should be 33 degrees centigrade. Then we perform the smoke test. But before smoke test, we checked the inlets, the system. We checked all the system completely, that if there is a losing, if there is not proper fixing, if there is a leakage, we will remove all the other things. We will shut the other things. We will make sure that there is no leakage in the house. So it's very easy. You close your house, you close your inlets, you close your doors, and you start your one tunnel fan. Okay?
Yes.
When you start your one fan, if your pressure should be more than 60, 50 Pascal, it means that your house is good. Okay? But it's very easy way to check your leakage. Because after that, we will make a smoke test for the other small leakage. But the main thing is that you start your one fan and you check your pressure gauge, pressure sensor. If it is more than 50 Pascal, so it means your house is good, no leakage in the house. But if it's below than 30, so you think that it's 50% leakage in your house, so you go remove the house. And in the general, when you close your house and you are inside the house, you look that there's a darkness in the house. And if there's a leakage, the sunlight is coming from there. It's the second way is that we will fix that the holes with the mud. And one thing is very, I will tell you, it's very, I think important that this is a tip I gave you that only mud, only mud is the best solution to close the holes of the house, because you know it's different to make a bond with the chemical and with the cement with the aluminum. So the other materials have no power to make a bond with them. So you use the mud, it's free of cost, and you close your all the holes, all the leakage, all the, even in the your inlet sides and even on the fan side. The last option is that you put the mud and you close your this, and then we start the, but before this we design a shed. For example, it's a 30,000, it's a bird, or let's suppose I will tell you that one house is 250 feet by 65 feet. The height is 7.5 feet. So 10 tunnel fans are installed in there, and 4 side fans are installed in there, and 1 variable fan are installed in their house, and more than 100 square foot the pads are installed there. Yani कि 10 tunnel fans, 10 tunnel fans, the capacity of the tunnel fans is 24,000 foot cubic foot per minute, and it should be 43,000 cubic meter per hour approximately, if you know, if you want in cubic meter, convert in cubic meter. So, and the small fans are 9,000 or 10,000 CFM. This is the, and the variable fan is 15,000 CFM. So after this, and 100 inlets are installed in that house. 100 inlets are installed in that house. This is very important that. And the second thing is that in scope, I did a lot of work in the scope, a lot of work in Big Dutchman, Viper Touch, and Fancom and Format and different type of controllers I installed. But I love that the scope and BD, the phenomena and the structure of the controllers is the same, because the both controllers companies built by the scope for the BD and for itself. So, but the name is different. The DOL 559, 539, and the BD is Viper Touch 3330. Yeah, different name, but they made a 10 point of LPV curve in their controller. This is the main thing. I asked you that I will tell you the 10 points, and you made that 10 point in your controller and make it a LPV curve in your controller. And also, if you have any problem, I will help you. And because it's it's very beneficial for the growers, for your country as well. So if this house, you have this house, 100 inlets, 10 tunnel fans, 4 side fans, and 1 variable fan. So variable fan is very must for uniform ventilation. This is very important that, especially in a minimum ventilation. Because tunnel ventilation, we don't care that 5, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 plus minus CFM. We don't care that. But we care in a winter ventilation, because we don't want to bring a lot of cold air in the house. We need the airs that what we want. And how air comes in the house, it should be because of the negative pressure we generate a vacuum in the house. That's why air comes from your inlet if you open your inlet. So this is the main point. So after this checking, we will start the smoke test. You should have airspeed meter, anemometer. You should have in your pocket. You should need a pressure sensor, negative pressure sensor, even is a gauge, even is a sensor, anyone. So, and then you have a picture of your controller, what's the temperature in your house. When you think that the temperature is 32 degrees centigrade, then you start the smoke test. So first thing is that we make, I tell you before that, we make a 10 points. What are the 10 points? The serial number 1. The second thing is that the air exertion. The first air exertion. And the second, the inlet opening. Okay? And third,
Exactly.
only inlet or the tunnel inlet. So these 3-4 points are in that chat. We will make what we do. We will calculate the fans and we just open the inlet. I tell you that 20 or 25 mm. 20 or 25 mm. If your inlets, last night I tell you that it depends on your inlets. If your inlets are less than 100, maybe it will be 35, 30 mm. It depends on the inlets. We need an area that. So if you have 100 inlets, 110 inlets, so it should be 20 or 25 mm. This is very important tips for all growers, for all farmers, for all the students of this poultry ventilation system. So you start the fan exertion as per your minimum ventilation requirement. Okay. So what is your minimum ventilation requirement? That's the first day of your, I don't consider 0 day. 0 day when the bird came in your house. At that time, no need of the ventilation. At that time, you just set your temperature, you maintain your temperature. Like the next day is the 1 day. So 1 day you start your minimum ventilation. So you calculate, if you are 25,000 bird, you can put the 25,000 figure in your calculator, then multiply with the weight of, it's maybe 40 gram, maybe 50 gram, you will put the grams. Yes, this is very important. If you put in the kg, if you put the gram, then you will be divided by 1000. And if you put the in kg, it's very easy for you, no need to divide by 1000. So number of the birds, this is the calculation of the minimum ventilation. Number of the birds you need. And the second thing is that the weight of the bird, right? And the third is that your minimum ventilation rate per kg bird. So it's very important. In Pakistan, we generally the thumb rule is that 0.5 CFM, but it depends on the altitude too. If you are on high altitude, you can increase. Okay. If you are in your shed and there's a lot of dust you see, then you will decrease your minimum ventilation rate. And if you see there is a lot of other things, you will increase and decrease. It depends on your share. Okay. And the condition of your birds, the happy sound of your bird. Yes. So you multiply and you have a CFM. What the CFM they needs in minimum ventilation on the first day. So that you take that one, you start from the first day of the ventilation of the first day. So the next days it will be increase, it will not decrease. Okay. So the first day is that the calculation according to your bird first day of the ventilation. So we open the inlets, and it's very important that your inlet should be uniform. And also we also use, sometimes we use advanced and delay technique, and this is very, very important for the growth, especially in brooding. Yes, this is my recommendation you always use the advanced and delay techniques. And what happened in that, and in that you have a small chicks, so you don't need the 100 inlets at the same time. So you can cut into two pieces. And what will be happen that the advanced inlet open 50 inlets open advanced and 50 is after. And in your minimum ventilation first phase, it will be only 50 inlets. You understand my point? When your first inlet open more than 15%, then the second inlet will be start opening. And on the then when they will be go on to 40%, they will be equal. Okay? 40 and 50% of when inlet will be open 40-50%, they will be equal. But in the brooding area, from the brooders, from the chicks, this technique, this is a very latest and famous technique, and it's very helpful for the growth. They should use advanced and delay technique of the inlets for minimum ventilation. So we will make the calculations, we will put that calculation in the controller, and we will put the first stage, and controller start that fan exertion, that inlet opening, and we will check the pressure. We will how we calculate the pressure, and how we define, how we find the negative pressure of the house. So we perform the smoke test. Smoke test, we use the two smoke sticks. One is a red, one is a green, and the people go outside and they start the smoke, and the smoke generate. And sometimes we use the smoke generators. Yeah, it's very also economical that you use the smoke testers, because sometimes smoke sticks are not available in the market. So we use the smoke sticks or smoke generators, and one person start first time. He will start from one side. We will check, and after the second side we'll check, and we will open the inlet from the controllers. Controller, we will command 5%, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we will also check we are checking the pressure. When the smoke test finish, we know the pressure at 20, let's go 22 Pascal is enough for this house. Okay, you will put 22 Pascal. Okay, and you will put the opening is 15%. You will put the 15%, and it's if your inlets are according to your design, perfect design by a perfect ventilation consultant, so it should be not more than 20 mm. So and what the fans runs, one side box fan, side wall box fan, and the second is your variable fan. Then we will get the uniform ventilation. So I suggest for the growth that one variable fan should be required. No need more, because also it's cost matter. So but one variable fan, even they will make their existing fan, put the inverter and convert into the variable fan. I know you very well, you are also mechanical engineer. So we'll make the 10 stages, okay, in the minimum ventilation and the side board ventilation. So I will tell you the other thing that you asked me the low pressure ventilation curve, but I will tell you a new thing that the low pressure, the low power ventilation curve is also for winter, and also we make a low pressure curve for the tunnel ventilation. And the controller have an option of tunnel low pressure curve. And at the time you will put the opening of the inlets of your curtain. Same like In your winter ventilation, you will calculate the inlet opening. Here you calculate the curtain opening. Okay? Let's suppose in 1 meter per second and only 4 tunnel fans. When the 4 tunnel fans of 25,400 CFM starts, the airspeed should be 1 meter per second. So at the time, you will maybe 30% or 40%, you open your curtain and the pressure should be 25, 23 Pascal, 24 Pascal. Okay? Or you will fix it in your controller. So when the controller shift from the transition to tunnel ventilation, the controller open only 30% of your curtain and only 4 tunnel fans will be working at that time. So after that, it is, I think, opening the fan exertion with the tunnel opening. Yes, the fan exertion increase, tunnel opening is increased. Same like in winter ventilation, fan exertion is increased, tunnel inlet opening is increased. So this is the main thing of low pressure ventilation in winter and in tunnel. So you should make, because this is very matter, because you know the without negative pressure, the cold airs hit direct to the birds, and this will be generate a lot of diseases, a lot of problems for you. So it's very important that your pressure should be set from the start to the end. So this is my answer. Yes, if you have any more questions, welcome, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Do you keep closed some inlet in coldest time?
Yes, please.
Do you keep closed in coldest time some inlets? My purpose about the some inlets.
Manually,
for example,
manually.
During coldest time, cold winter, okay, we don't need to more airflow in house. We must manage
Yes.
for the decrease or cost, fuel cost, and other things, and reach to the comfort zone for birds. We must manage air intake. My question was, do you keep closed some inlets during cold winter? For example, in Iran, in cold climate, in part of Iran, we have a hard winter. We closed some inlets and stay closed some inlets, and we use just some inlets during minimum ventilation.
Okay.
What is your purpose about it?
I got your point. So my advice is that you should use the advance and delay technique of inlets. Okay. And that I will tell you in next. I will show you everything. And you should use, I recommend this, the advance and delay technique. I recommended for, especially there's a high fluctuation of the temperature, that zone, tropical and subtropical zone. I recommended that. And also you should use the advanced and delay technique. For using this, your 50% inlet automatically closed. You got my point?
Yes, exactly.
It depends on you how you have a three holes in your inlet downside where you put the rope. So your first inlet should be top. Your rope is fixed the top of this one, and the second should be the bottom of the others. Okay, you have a three rings holes in your inlet for the rope of the inlet, for the white rope of the inlet white. So you can put the first one in the top and the second rope in the bottom of the. So you have a three, you will put on the one here and the other is here. So you use only 50% inlet. This is your solution, sir. Yes, please.
And you said about the inlet opening for us, and it is correct comment about the minimum ventilation. Minimum 1 inch opening, you say minimum.